All right, what's going on, guys? Today, I want to talk about, the story of the subhuman sewer, playing your cards right, because this is sort of going to be like my version of navigating the workplace, for ugly men. Because, I was just thinking about this. You know how in school, right, they would be like, oh, we got to prepare you for the real world. They didn't prepare anyone for shit. Life is just pretty much one big high school. And chances are if you got bullied in high school, you're going to get bullied in the workplace. I noticed like human nature just doesn't change. And everything, it has gone downhill, since high school. Overall, things really don't get better with age unless you're like extremely, extremely, extremely lucky. Because, who the fuck wants to be 40 years old, 50 years old, your metabolism completely stops working, you get fat, your hair flies right out of your head, you start going gray, your back hurts all the time. I'm already experiencing those things and I'm fucking 24, so, yeah, it's getting pretty rough. But anyway, for the subhuman sewer, I want to talk about, like, this update I never gave. This was about like a year and a half ago after I had left that old warehouse job I worked. If you didn't know, I worked with this one guy he's like about like maybe 5'1". I would maybe tops minimum 5'2" easily. This guy had a full on breakdown, at work because people just treated him like shit. He needed like a ladder. We worked in like this decrepit just basement, and with like the windows like just completely fucked up, and he actually tried to sue that place, but he couldn't since they could like countersue him for like all the damage he did. He basically told me, like, because I was weird, like I remember that shit like it was yesterday. It was weird because I had no idea he was on a bunch of drugs. He was like, yeah dude, I just fucking lost it, and I did a bunch of drugs that day and I drank. He's like, I did some Xanax and Adderall, like a huge dose, and I drank. And he was like, I just fucking couldn't stand the people there. They were just treating me like shit, so I just snapped. Because I remember he was like shaking with a fucking box cutter in his hand, just like saying really fucking weird shit. And I guess he had a fucking breakdown, But basically, I'd bumped into him about like, I don't know, a year later. Because I remember it was like in February of last year. So yeah, like a year and a half ago was when I bumped into him. I never made a video on like the update, but because I was walking behind him at the grocery store, and I noticed that bald spot from like miles away. He had the alien skull. He kind of looked like the bully from Toy Story. And I said his name. He had the same backpack we would always wear. I said his name, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" Like he was like happy to see me and shit. And I had no idea about this either. The dude was in the military for like a while. And, he's all fucked up, anyway. Like, he would ride his bike to work. Apparently, he moved out of his mom's house, and he basically, he was living in a Craigslist home for, like, $600 a month with, like, a bunch of, people, like, 6 people, and one of them was, like, a pregnant woman or something like that. He was telling me, he's like, I got no insurance. And he basically sues everyone he can at every job he has ever worked at. He doesn't keep them for long. And it's just so sad to me because if this guy only knew, like, I do recall him saying as well that when he was working at FedEx, a bunch of boxes fell on him and shit. And his coworkers just completely laughed at him. Like, they thought it was like the funniest shit. They left him there for like hours, and he ended up suing them and getting like a decent amount of money. And now he's like, dude, honestly, bro, like, I just record people all the time. He's like, I don't, like, every time I'm at work, I'm just like secretly recording people so I can sue them. And he was like trying to recommend me like do that shit too. But this guy, he's like, dude, I've called OSHA so many times. I've gotten people fired. He's like, fuck them. Everyone I've worked with has just been horrible to me. That's like only if this guy was literally a foot taller, had a full head of hair and all that shit. And it's sad too because it's like, he's a military vet as well. No one gives a fuck about men. I'm telling you, man, just nobody does. It's like everything you do wrong as a man, even if you're like trying to do good. And like, that's the thing in the workplace. I know Rehab Room was saying this, but you definitely want to lie about having a girlfriend, because that was like the biggest mistake I kind of made at that warehouse job. I was way too open and honest, like way too open and fucking honest, because you know, they probably thought I was like weird or a loser. They'd be like, oh, what'd you do on your day off? And I'd be like, you know, sat around and did absolutely nothing. They would ask like, oh, you know, you see any girls and shit like that? And I remember saying at the time, I think I was like 22. I was like, oh, you know, I'm a 22-year-old virgin. And they were like, what, bro? Like it was like some sort of, I don't know, like, how does that happen? That's just impossible type of thing. But there's a lot of dudes that haven't gotten laid. You know, it's just like the excess males and modernity and, you know, this modern world, I mean, and just shit like that, and just not the cancellation of natural selection. There's just like so many guys that are just fucking walking around like clueless ducks, me included, you know. But I feel like you have to find balance, because it's like no matter what you do, right, like you can't be completely quiet at a job, right? Because like people like me, like I remember growing up in school, I was usually the quiet kid. And they'd be like, oh my God, he's going to be a mass shooter. Oh, even a teacher joked about that shit. I should have gotten her fucking fired. I should have done what this guy did, you know, recorded her and got her fucking fired, you know. I feel like that's like the new meta for being subhuman. Just record everybody. And if they fucking harass you, just sue their ass or some shit. You know what I mean? But I even remember my mom during that time was saying, like, you got to record this lady. Like, this is like unacceptable shit. Because I was just quiet. I just never said anything, you know, and then they would just make jokes about that shit. But if you're overly confident and overly social, they'll just think you're like, oh, why is he overly confident? Why he's weird. He's weird. So you just can't win, man. I feel like you just can't win. I'm kind of learning at my new job. You know, I work with this just one person, like literally just one person in a truck. If you didn't know what I do, I work for this liquor company where basically in the mornings, you know, we get our route. We go to like bars, you know, liquor stores, gas stations, whatever the fuck, you know, and do like the drop-offs. He does like the invoices. And like for this guy, he seems well established, like like a normie type. And I think like, you know, the new meta for, you know, subhuman men is obviously you don't want to be too quiet, or they'll be like, oh my God, he's dangerous. What is he thinking? Oh. And you also don't want to be like overly just like loud, and because they'll be like, yeah, this guy's weird. Why is he so confident for looking like shit? You know, you know what I mean? So I think the new meta is just give as like basic, simple answers as possible. Just, you know, keep everything, you know, you gotta lie to them, gotta be like, you know, I got a girlfriend, going out tomorrow to watch my son's basketball game. Huh, I'm a cuck. You know, you gotta be like that. And I noticed too, like groups of people at work are extremely fucking dangerous, guys. Very, very dangerous, you know, in school, work, college, whatever. Groups of people are super fucking dangerous. Because what I noticed, you know, if you're in a group, let's say like in school, for example, like I had this happen to me in 6th grade. There's the group of kids, like they're like all friends. It was in my, one of my history classes, and they threw some shit at like the teacher or whatever. They kept throwing shit at him, and, they blamed it on me. And the guy's so fucking stupid that, because like, how do you, like, come on, you have to have common sense. If there's like a group of people being like, oh, he did it, you have to know, like, chances are he probably didn't do it. But people don't question shit. People are ignorant as fuck. So I end up in the office, and it was like a week-long thing. I had to go there every day, and then like these kids would like come in, they'd be like, oh no, I swear he did it, we didn't, because I knew who fucking did it. And they would be like, no, because it's their word against yours, basically. Same thing for the workplace. If someone fucks something up at the workplace, oh yeah, and that's the thing, I got fucking in school suspension for that, by the way, something I didn't even do. And it's the same shit at work. You have a group of people, if someone fucks something up real bad, and they're like a well-established group of like friendly people, they're gonna fuck you. You know, they're gonna be like, oh, he did it. He's the one who fucked up. You know, he's the one who messed up. It wasn't us. It was him. And your boss will be like, you know, all fucking mad and shit. Like, oh, you're on thin ice, buddy, for something you didn't do. They're all angels. You know, and that's the thing too. I've got accused of stealing shit at my old warehouse job like a couple times, actually. One of them was really, really fucked up. There was this chick, right? She was 19 years old. She would work like only guys like 5 hours every day for from 5 o'clock to like 9 or 10, you know, when the store would close. You know, it was like this family owned business that sold like beer, wine, and like groceries and shit. And this woman, you know, because like I would work in the warehouse, but since I would always work, I would do overtime all the time. They'd be like, okay, no, you're gonna do stock in the shelves today. Oh, you're gonna do cashier work today. Oh, you're gonna. So I would be doing a lot of shit, right? And there's this old woman with like dementia. I'm pretty sure she had fucking dementia. It would be me and her some days, just like for the last 5 hours of the fucking store. And I swear to God, guys, she would tell me the same fucking story every day. And I just wouldn't even call her out on it. I just like smile and shake my head like, yeah, cool, yeah. But I'm telling you, it was like Joe Biden level of like fucking bad. I couldn't even like believe it, you know? Like it was just so bad. I found out she had a heart attack actually, you know, like last year. Which is like, fuck. She was like the only one nice to me. Like I'm telling you, she was the only person in that fucking store that was nice to me. But anyway, it was me, her, and like this 19-year-old chick with, she had 2 kids. I don't, like that's insane, man. At 19 years old, having 2 kids. One of them was like 2 years old or some shit. The other one was like just born or whatever, like a couple months. And I guess she took this as a part-time gig, you know, only working 5 hours, night shift, you know, like all the time. And what she was doing, so the register, there's a camera above, right? And there's the register, but it's underneath like the table. So what she would do, right? She would take the fucking money, and instead of putting it in the register, she would put it off to the side or in her purse somewhere, right? And she was good. Like she was actually genuinely good with it, you know? Until one day, because they noticed they were losing a lot of fucking money, like a lot of money. But it was this one order in particular, where basically this guy bought like $1,000 worth of shit. And she took all the money, and my boss like thought I did it, you know. And they're checking the cameras. They're like, "Oh, we know. You better speak up now." You know this Russian dude. You better speak up. I know you stealing. I'm like, no. He's like, "Oh, we find out. And I was like, fuck, you know. And then she brings in the old lady, accuses her of stealing. So he basically accused both of us of stealing money for like months. He's like, I know, I need to prove, but I know after today, I know someone's stealing. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm not fucking like, because of course, you know, the only worry I had was that I would get fucking in trouble for something I didn't fucking do, you know. that was the only worry. And finally, after like a week, it took, because he couldn't spot it. It finally took like one of the managers to review, like they had to request like all the footage from over the months, and just to find out. And this is the funny part. This chick took off like for a vacation or whatever right before they actually caught her. Like I swear, like a few days. And the funny thing is, my boss found out I wasn't even fucking working that day, guys. I wasn't even fucking working that day from the footage where like she stole all that shit. And she got away with like a few grand, you know. And when my boss said, he was like, "Oh, you weren't even working that day." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And he's like, "Okay." And just didn't even apologize, didn't even do anything, just like kind of shrugged his shoulders and went, "Okay." Like fucking weird. And he also thought I stole a bunch of wine, like $10,000 worth of fucking wine one time, because he had me drive to this like really fucked up like remote area like an hour away. You know, it's kind of funny because like what I'm doing now for work, it wasn't really much different from that old warehouse job, except like now I'm just permanently driving. But like this was like non-CDL work. You get like this really shitty like van, and it wasn't even that many cases of wine. It was just like 2, 3, 4 cases of just like these bottles that were just happened to be really expensive. And you know, basically what happened was, so I drive to this really remote area. I don't know where the hell I'm at, you know. And my boss was like, "Oh, make sure you take picture of ID and make sure everything okay, get everything." Because, I mean, even he probably knew it was, like, really sketchy, you know? But he makes me go there, and I shit you not, I'm, like, just waiting. It's, like, this, sort of like this construction area where, like, they're building these apartments. And I'm just parked in, like, this one parking space, just no one. Just nobody at all. No one's even working. And these 2 cars just fucking pull up, you know, about like 5 guys fucking come out, and they just start unloading my shit, and I don't even question it. I'm like, "Oh, can I see your ID?" It was some weird ID from like, I I forgot what state, but it wasn't New York. It wasn't even upstate New York. It was some weird fucking state. I can't remember. Fuck, what was it? I think it might have been Nevada. It was from like somewhere, and it was so fucking fake. But I was kind of scared, you know. And the crazy thing is, the guy, he pretty much said, like, he was like, thank you for cooperating. And it was fucking weird. And he gave me a $200 tip. And, you know, I sent him the fucking, the guy's license. He's like, oh, you know, this complete fucking bullshit. You know, you didn't deliver. I'm like, oh no, I gave it to them. He's like, what the fuck you doing? You know, having a breakdown. I swear to God, that guy had the headset connector bald spot where the top of your head is like connected by this last, you know, remaining piece of hair. That shit was gone by the end of the, you know, my time there. I swear to God, me and these fucking Zoomers drove this guy up the fucking wall, you know, because we would just fuck up so much. And he thought that I drove to my fucking house and dropped all that shit off, you know. He's like, oh, I know you fucking steal, you drive it home, I bet you drive it home. I'm like, no, I gave it to the guy. And this is the thing too, what I want to fucking, like, thank God, something in like my gut feeling told me to record that whole incident. Like, something deep down told me to record that, like what I was mentioning earlier. This was before this guy even told me about that shit. Something just told me to record this fucking interaction because I didn't feel safe at all. And I fucking, you know, I had to like talk to the police and shit because it was a stolen credit card. And this guy had like done this shit like a bunch of times. And guys, the car had no fucking license plate. The cars had no fucking license plates. And yeah, like I had to send them the audio and shit and all that. But thank fucking God, because who knows what would have happened, right? If I didn't record that, maybe I would have maybe this guy would have been like, oh, you stealing, oh, no proof but you stole, oh. You know, it's just completely just like, you know, ridiculous. Just getting accused of shit like with no, just everyone's like, oh my God, he did it because he's subhuman. He's an easy scapegoat. Let's fuck him over. He has nothing to live for anyway. The fucking evil ass people. Because, yeah, you know, my boss, he's like, how could you be so fucking stupid? He have no license plate, no address. You still give it to him? And I had to explain to him, I'm like, there were so many guys there. It was fucking scary as shit. They were all wearing suits. It was fucking shady as hell. And they took it out of the car without, like, you know, they took it out of the back of the van before I even left the car. And thank you for cooperating, you know, pulling out this wad of cash, you know. And yeah, just fucking thank God I had that audio, because no one would have believed me. No one would have believed me at all, you know. Sad shit. But, yeah, you know, groups of people are fucking dangerous, you know, very, very dangerous, for sure. Because, like, here's the thing, what I will tell you, you know, in the workplace with, like, groups of people or people that, like, kiss whoever's ass the most, you know, whether it be, like, I don't know, the main boss who, I don't know, just, like, holds all the power, because it's all the same shit, power, status, and looks. Like, let's say you have, like, the powerful boss who, like, everyone has to blow him the flying fuck right off every day or else they're getting fired. Like, you're not as good of a person as you think you are. You know, like, this boss might think he's, like, all high and mighty, like, oh, I'm such a good guy. Look how much everyone respects me at work. When, secretly, like, they don't like you at all. They're just not trying to fucking lose their job. And the same thing goes for looks, you know, too. Like, let's say you're a good-looking dude, you're tall, you know, you got the pretty privilege or whatever. And, you know, you can act like a piece of shit, talk shit about everybody, gossip at work, and people will just like laugh and be like, oh, you're so cool, haha. But if your subhuman ass does it, you're getting fucking fired right away, you know. And these people, they genuinely think they're good people because whatever the case is, they can afford to be like this, guys. These people, just know that in life, when people, you know, act like shit, they're really fucking mean, they think they're good people, you know, for the most part. Because whatever it was, they were allowed to get away with that type of behavior, you know. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, you've had a crush one time who, you know, you only liked her because she was good looking, but she was just very, very toxic. It's like the same shit, you know. And there's so many dudes who are simping nowadays that just, oh my God, it's so bad. like these women will be like, just treat them like absolute shit, and they'll be like, yes, queen, I love you, queen, I love you. And she'll be like, I'm such a good person. Yeah, you're just not, like, no one's as good of a person as they think they are. That includes me and you. Like, you're just not, you know, because morality is just such a weird fucking thing that just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because everyone has their own different perspective and reality of it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I think, I don't know, I want to use like a weird example. Like, you know, what is that guy's name? Biff Tannen from the Back to the Future. You know, the guy's like, he's like a complete douchebag, you know, in the second movie where, he like wins all that money from that like notebook thing. And like, he thinks he's some sort of god, like really good person, but he's just not. It's because all the people are scared of him and shit. And just, he has all the money and power, you know, money, power, looks, and status. It's the same thing with status. You know, let's say you're a fucking, I don't know, like super celebrity. Everyone's like, oh my God. Like, I swear to God, some of these celebrities seem like absolute robots, man. Like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, most of them, like, they just act so douchey and entitled, and they just think they're such good people because they have all these fans that just, you know, they don't know anything about them really, but they just watch, like, you know, a movie by them, and we're like, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. So yeah, in the workplace, you just got to be careful for those people. They're never gonna learn. They're not as good as they think they are. They will throw you under that bus completely and entirely, you know, just to get ahead. That's what most people will do. And this is the thing as well. Don't go above and beyond at work. But also, I will say this, you know, what used to actually piss me off back in the day was, you know, like the jobs I would work, some people would be like, let's say you move a box like 2 feet to like this aisle, right? And they'd be like, oh, it's not my job description, you do it. It's like there's some people that work like that. I mean, it's just like, dude, it's like 2 feet away. It's the same thing with like this guy I work with. I don't have to unload the fucking truck with him with every order. I don't, you know, it's not my job description, but I'd rather just get it done quick and help the dude out. You know what I mean? Fuck it. But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, the workplace sucks, but yeah, for sure, be careful of these people. Just try not to get thrown under the fucking bus, because yeah, you're just you know, if you're a subhuman man, you're just the easiest scapegoat of all time. So yeah, that's pretty much it.